Let's talk about money, shall we? It's uncomfortable for a lot of folks to discuss, especially during these tough economic times. But our next guests are here to help change your point of view about money. Joining us now is Gary Douglas, founder of Access Consciousness, and Dr. Dain Heer, author of the book, Right Riches for You. It's right here in my hand. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
I'm excited to have you here. Now, first, Gary, I'm going to start with you. What is Access Consciousness?
Well, it's the weirdest, wildest, wackiest thing you can ever do, and it works. It's a bunch of tools and techniques that are pragmatic, that are things you can apply to your life and change whatever you want to change in life.
Now, you have tons of books that are available on your website. Today, we're focusing just on the Right Riches for You.
Yes.
Now, as I was going through the book, you guys think, and I'll direct this to you, that it's your perspective on money that creates the way that obviously you think about money. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
That's exactly what it is. See, our point of view is, or what we've come to realize in working with thousands of people is, your point of view creates your reality. It's not reality that creates your point of view. So when something happens, your point of view about it determines how it shows up for you. Like if you take the recent financial crisis, a lot of people have points of view that it's going to be terrible, which makes it worse for them. Well, if you can change your point of view about it, it's funny how the situation in your life changes to match that point of view, and that's what this book is about.
So it's about changing the filter on how you perceive things, how you see the world. Now, Gary, for you, what kind of misinformation exists out there right now when it comes to money?
There's, it's like, I don't know how it was for you, but when I was a kid, my parents didn't teach me anything about money. It's like I was given an allowance, and then I was told that I was terrible with money because I would use my allowance to feed my friends and have a good time with it. And they told me that was wrong, and I should be saving it and putting it away. And except it's like I was having a good time, and I thought that's what money was for. Except then I was told I was wrong. So it's like my whole life I was confused because I liked having people happy and sharing what I had, and I knew I was wrong for doing so.
So you had this conflicting experience.
Yeah.
Well, it leads me to my next question. How can, and in your case, how does family, how we are raised, how does that influence our perspective, our perceptions of money?
Well, unfortunately, our family has, points of view that they try to sell us because they want us to live well by their standards. It's like my family was middle class. And so their point of view was work hard, save your money, and you'll be okay in the end.
And they expect that you're going to grow up to be just like them. That's what they expect of you. In the South they have a saying, you can't go above your raisin.
For your raisin.
What does that mean, What it means is, not the raisin on top of your muffin, you can't go above that. It's more like you can't go any further than your family went. And that seems to be a point of view that is widespread throughout the world.
So how do we change our thought process when it comes to our money, or how our family taught us about money?
Well, that's exactly it. One of the first things to do is, instead of just going with the thought process you were given, start asking questions. A question might be, okay, what's it going to take to change my thought process? And then what's it going to take to change my financial situation? What most people do is they go with the point of view, oh, this is the way it is. If you start asking a question, you can actually start changing it so it doesn't have to be that way. And in the book, there are tons of questions that you can ask to change specific financial situations that you have.
Also, it's like what we have in there is tools you can use to apply and change your point of view so that you can have a different result with the money you're choosing.
So by asking the questions, you're changing your reality, or at least you're forcing yourself to look within?
You're opening the door to it. See, what happens is when you ask a question, the universe has lots of answers that we don't have available to us. When we look for answer, then all we can do is see the answer we already got or the judgment we already have. So it's like what we got to do is look from, okay, so if I ask this question, what can the universe show me that's different than what I currently have?
Now, you talk in your book about contextual reality. Is that kind of what we're talking about here? Like,
yeah,
how
that's kind of what we're handed as we grow up, and what contextual reality is, in essence, it's like, okay, I'll fit if I do this, or I'll benefit from this, and you end up spending your entire life trying to win and trying not to lose. Well, if you could go beyond all of that, then you'd have a different choice.
Sure.
In other words, if you're trying not to lose financially, you ever notice that when you have a certain amount in your bank account and you don't want to lose it, and you don't want to lose it, you don't want to lose it, what happens? You lose it.
You lose it.
Yeah, so because that's where you're putting your focus. I don't want to lose it.
Your point of view is, I could lose it.
Yeah, which makes it so you
rather
lose it.
than a question like, okay, how can I grow this to something greater?
It's a pretty interesting perspective. For the people who are watching this morning, I mean, this is a morning show and they're getting their kids ready. What do you want them to take away? What's the thing that you really want them to know?
Might be different. What I would like them to know is you can change your financial situation and you can change how you feel about money so that it becomes a place of peace and a place of ease.
Peace and ease.
Peace and ease with money. And most people don't have peace and ease with money. That's not what they look for. They look for abundance, or they look for more of, or they look for how they're going to lose, or what do I have to do to get this? How do I solidify and make myself secure?
It's been a pleasure having you both here on the show. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you being here. Now, if you would like more information, or if you would like to get a copy of Right Riches for You and help change your perspective on money, just visit accessconsciousness.com.